Your voice is your main product. Hi, this is Bill. This is Creative License, and thanks again for being a part of today's little dog and pony show. It's a beautiful day, and I thought I would go for a walk, and in the middle of it, I remembered something somebody asked me about. Vocal control. It's one of the things that I've been trying to master my entire life. And if you have vocal control, if you know how to use your voice effectively, then you can look and sound and actually be more professional for the clients you work for. So how do you work on voice control? Well, it is a process, really. It's a lot like going to the gym and trying to get muscles. You have to do push-ups every day, pull-ups every day. You got to work on the exercises necessary to make it easier for you to do what you need to do with the muscles you want to build. Well, with voice, it's not a whole lot different. Except that we're not used to thinking about it, right? We're born and then we have a voice. We're screaming coming out of the womb. So if I got to talk as a DJ or a master of ceremonies, just give me a microphone. It makes my voice louder. If it's louder and the loudest thing in the room, of course you're going to hear it. But I'm not necessarily going to be happy about it because I might not like your tonal quality. I might not understand what you're saying. So let me give you a couple of things to think about if you start working on your voice. Number one is clarity. And the other is the tonal quality necessary to have that clarity. A couple of things to do to work on those things right away. Number one, you should get a vocal coach. If you don't have one, I suggest finding a vocal coach. And if the only ones you can find are singing coaches, well, then you're on the right track. No vocal coach can move along your voice stronger and quicker than a singing coach, because they really understand. The first thing they're going to teach you is how to breathe correctly. And breathing when you're trying to use your instrument diaphragmatically is very different than the way you breathe already. Your diaphragm is down below your rib cage and your lungs, and if you put breath into your lungs, normally your chest rises because you're using the top half of your lungs. You fill up only a little bit and you use what's there. But if you really breathe deeply and don't allow your chest to rise, it'll push more air into the bottom part of your lungs, which just pushes on your diaphragm, which gives you more air and more control over the air that you use, because you now begin to use the muscle underneath your lungs. And that will give you control over how much air you push through your vocal cords. This is not something you just do one day and are good at it. It's something you practice every single solitary day for the rest of your life. I've been working on diaphragmatic breathing since I'm 15 years old, and my first theater acting coach taught me about it. Work on it. It will make what you do better, and it makes you think about what you're going to do. Now, clarity comes down to diction and speed. Diction and speed. I could teach you different things, and you can practice with tongue twisters and different scripts. But before you understand what it is and what it sounds like, you need to think about what you're about to say. Usually we open a mic and we don't think about what we're about to say because we don't have to. It just comes out of us, right? We treat it as if it's not something you have to think about, like it's breathing. So when you do speak, you speak really quickly, you get it out fast, but you don't take into consideration what you're trying to communicate and who's trying to listen to you. So the first step when it comes to learning how to speak clearly and with diction is to, number one, slow down. Everything you think you're speaking slowly already, you're not. Slow down. And number two, think about each word you're saying, if it's important, what the definition of it is, because each word says something. So if you don't say it in the right way, you're not communicating the right word. Why it needs to be said, who needs to hear it. And if you take all of these things into consideration, all of a sudden a wider outlook as to what you're about to do and why it's important shows up. And then all of a sudden you almost automatically slow down. Because if every last person in the room needs to hear exactly what you say and understand every word clearly and why it's being said, then you're going to have to slow down, aren't you? So you will automatically begin to understand the importance of slowing down. When you understand it, you'll go out of your way to make it happen. Does this help? It's only 5 minutes. It takes longer than this. And just knowing this information isn't enough. It's practice. How do you get good at being really great with your voice? Practice, practice, practice. All right. That's it. Thanks again for being so nice to the sponsors of the show. And I'll see you next time on Creative License.